Welcome back to the Stoop, football fans. It is international break week, so I've given Mark and our other Stoopers an international break, but me and John, we still got to keep working. I got Chris in from his brand new home out in New Jersey, where we kicked him out as soon as Aston Villa kicked their butts. So I know you got away easy, Chris. Last week, you didn't have to be here. What a perfect week to not be on the Stoop for you.
It's exactly how I planned it. We'll start kicking off some wins, this weekend, during the break, when we went from 2 guys diagnosed positive for COVID to 5 now.
Jeez, that's right. First of all, I hope everybody's safe and recovers well, but that is crazy. Who did you say it was? Mane,
Thiago, but I guess he might be fully recovered now. Naby Keita in the midfield, so that's midfield depth, and then the other 2 guys are more bench players. Samakis, who's Robertson's backup, and I guess the Shaqiri test was a false positive. So, not that he's playing that much now with Jota and Minamino in, but he's still potentially a transfer rumor with the Premier League transfer window still open, so who knows?
Premier League window is closed.
I guess is it only within lower league?
Yeah, you can do lower league stuff.
He's not going anywhere then.
I was like, where are they sending Shaqiri? He's been banished.
Back to Stoke.
Back to Stoke.
In exchange for Jack Butland.
Hey, I was gonna mention that. No, good segue there, Chris. Jack Butland at Stoke. You guys starting to think that maybe Adrian isn't a proper number 2?
It's one of these things. Adrian was really strong at West Ham. I think going for really good goalies on teams that struggle defensively, it's a little bit different than playing goalie for a really strong team that maybe you're not always taking on many shots. You're expected to pass the ball a lot. I mean, the thing with Butland is I don't really know that he's really an upgrade, right? He's not even starting at Stoke right now. Yeah. When they went down, he was, rumored with going to like a big Premier League club, and I guess he thought that they could bounce up in 1 year, and they almost got relegated their first year in the Championship. And I think his confidence is not great. He's not starting at Stoke. I don't know how that's an upgrade. I know Adrian's making a lot of mistakes. The pressure's got to him. I'd rather recall Karius if we could, to be honest.
Jesus, man, you're pulling out all of my my segues here already without me even asking you. But now you start to look at Loris Karius.
Yeah.
Why did we let him go? Did you get a bunch of money? I don't know.
I think they thought he made a lot of gaffes too, obviously in that Champions League final. But the truth is, the way Liverpool plays, you're asking your goalie to be part of the build-up. Even Alison makes plays. His first year at Liverpool, I think he was tied for second in terms of goalkeeping errors. He just does so many other things well that you forget about that, right? Adrian, you got to get through a tough patch, just play a little more defensively oriented than normal until Alison gets back. But even that's a little bit difficult with how the back four has been looking.
Well, you know what's crazy is we're sitting here talking about Adrian being, get rid of him. He's terrible. He's a quality keeper. I just think what the demands that Liverpool have on their keepers, it's the modern keeper thing where you need to play from the back. You need to have good footwork. You need to be able to pick an 80-yard pass down the field like Alison does, like Emi Martinez does, like Ederson does, as well as being the sweeper. So I think Adrian is a good quality keeper.
He's not the reason Villa scored 7, right?
No.
I've been saying this for a couple of weeks on this show that I don't think Joe Gomez is a starting center back. I would have liked to seen us go after a center back in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Not because we don't have a good second center back. We have Joel Matip. He's just always hurt, right?
Yeah.
A healthy Joel Matip's one of the best center back pairings you could provide to Virgil van Dijk, but he's not and I don't even know what the injury is, to be honest with you. He's just always out. Gomez may actually be a good right back for Liverpool if Trent Alexander-Arnold ever wanted to move up into the midfield. I don't know if you saw the highlights of him in practice, dribbling around Harry Maguire and Declan Rice.
Well, dribbling around Harry Maguire, I think your infant daughter could dribble around Harry Maguire right now.
Yeah.
Toddler,
I mean,
she's not an infant anymore, but here's the thing. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm a big fan of his. He's almost always in my fantasy team, but he was terrible. And I think it's because he was asked to defend. And as a defender, he's terrible.
He's all about, going forward, incredible crosser. He can actually shoot with both feet. The same way, he's not pacey the way Gareth Bale was, but the way Gareth Bale moved from left back up to the, wing. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold's future position is a little bit like Jordan Henderson's on the right side of center midfield. Obviously, he's not ready to take that from Henderson yet. So if he's going to be kind of the creativity coming from the right side, his center back can't be Joe Gomez. It's got to be someone who's extremely reliable. I mean, we often attack with all, 3 forwards, 2 fullbacks, and at least two of the center mids, right? It's almost like an attack with 7 and defend with 3. And even Fabinho sometimes wants to sneak up in there, and Van Dijk wants to sniff out a header. You can't do that. We're not going to be able to do that, next week against Everton. That's for sure. They're coming for blood. They're not expecting anything other than a win. And then, frankly, we've got Ajax in the Champions League 3 days later.
Yeah.
And we're in a tough group there with Ajax and Atalanta. If Liverpool doesn't sort out their defensive frailties, they're so I don't think they're in trouble of being out of the top 4 this season, but they need to sort that out.
Was a defensive meltdown like this foreseen? Did you see the possibility of not 7 goals? I don't think anybody saw 7 goals, but did you see a defensive meltdown possibly happening? And if so, why didn't you go after some? You brought 3 players in this transfer window, all, not defenders.
Yeah. Nope. I mean, we got a left back for cover on Robertson, but
who hasn't seen a minute.
No, I mean, he probably is going to play in the cup games. He's got experience playing in the Champions League with Olympiacos. He's not a center back, right? I think we thought between Matip and Gomez we would be covered there, but we're honestly like a Virgil van Dijk injury away from giving up a lot of goals. And not that he's been all that solid. He's made some mistakes as well. Particularly, remember in the Leeds game where he kind of headed it into towards Bamford's way.
How happy are you with Thiago and Jota?
I like both of those signings a lot. I think Jota can cover all 3 attacking positions. Thiago's ultimately going to starting every game, I think, over Wijnaldum. With Wijnaldum rumored to go to Barca at some point, whether he comes off the bench or he leaves, I love him as a player, but Thiago's an upgrade. Those 2 players, fantastic. I'm actually a little upset about the transfers out and the lack of certain transfers out. So Rhian Brewster, who just we sent him on loan to the Championship last year, and he scored, I think it was 11 goals in 22 games for Swansea. Brewster's a little bit like Nketiah. I think, he's got that type of potential, on the Arsenal side. He wasn't going to get too many minutes. I thought maybe we could loan him out again. I don't know if there's a buyback in there, but, sad to see him go. I was a little sad to see a few folks didn't leave. Not that I don't like them, but with Shaqiri and I think Harry Wilson, those are guys that can start elsewhere in the Premier League. They're not going to get too many minutes here. You can get some money for them. That's a lot of wages to have for someone who's going to come in on a couple of FA Cup games.
Yeah, I do feel bad for Shaqiri because this also being a Euro year, which is, I don't know, it feels weird. but he's very, very important to that team, to the Swiss
Yeah.
national team.
Oh, he'll get into the Swiss
No,
Swiss
he will,
squad.
but
I think
he needs
he
to
just
be
won't be as
playing.
sharp as he normally would be.
Exactly, he needs
Yeah.
to be playing. So, Chris, final thoughts.
Okay.
Coming up, you have the derby, big match. You know, up until that Villa match, nobody was doubting that Liverpool's going to win that match. But right now, I think the Sharks are smelling blood in the water, and Everton are looking to win that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're fortunate that this is a week off. They can kind of cleanse their mind of the 7-2 loss, hopefully. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Calvert-Lewin, keeps scoring. Rodriguez keeps scoring and setting folks up. I mean, they haven't even really unleashed Richarlison yet, who I thought was their best player last year. But I think there's some goals to be had.
Yeah.
That Everton center back pairing of Keane and Yeremina, I think they can get at. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-2. I think Everton's gonna make a real push towards the top 4 this year.
Definitely.
We need to start spoiling their year now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I'm going to call it a 3-2. Everton pull it out in the end. I think Liverpool owns most of the match. And then a couple mistakes, and they break through it and get a winner. So I'm going to call 3-2. Sorry.
Yeah. Joe Gomez own goal in the 90th minute.
Yeah. Okay, Chris. Well, great. I hope you're enjoying Jersey. We can't wait to have you back on the stoop one day, but for now, this will have to do. So
Can't wait to be back.
Awesome, man.
All right, man.
Don't
Take
forget
care.
to like and subscribe and click the bell. We'll see you next week.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. Bye, guys.